You can work your ass off, be brilliant at what you do, and still stay broke if you're waiting for someone else to choose you. This is for the woman who does beautiful work but downplays it. For the one who keeps waiting to be recognized, promoted, invited, or discovered. For the one who knows she's capable but feels strangely paralyzed when it's time to ask, initiate, or claim. If you're waiting for a boss, a client, a partner, a mentor, a big break to tap you on the shoulder and declare you worthy, you'll be waiting forever. Because the system wasn't built to choose you. You have to choose yourself. Stay with me because this one's going to land in places that you've been avoiding. By the end of this, you'll understand why your nervous system treats visibility in work and money like a threat, how pick-me conditioning gets baked into your career mindset, and one simple wealth ritual you can start tonight to bring your energy, work, and resources into coherence. Wealth isn't about being chosen, it's about being coherent. Welcome to Your Witchy Mother. We cover everything your mother never taught you without the guilt. Body-led choices, steady money, clear boundaries, with practical rituals and zero performance. Hello, I'm Melanie, your witchy mother. Here's why asking for money feels dangerous. Most of us grew up in systems where money wasn't neutral. Money meant pride, greed, danger, responsibility, temptation, loss of innocence. Or, if you were in church culture, money was fine as long as you didn't have too much of it and you weren't proud of it. So, of course, receiving money feels loaded. Of course, asking for more feels like a moral test. Of course, naming your skills feel like bragging. But let me ask you something and be honest with yourself. Who told you that you needed permission to succeed? Your body remembers the answer. Years ago, before I started this work, there was a position in the company that I worked for that I desperately wanted. I had the experience, I had the recommendations, I knew I would kick ass at it, but I never applied. I told myself I wasn't ready, that I needed someone to see me first. That if I was truly meant for it, they'd notice, they'd ask, they'd choose me. So I waited, and someone else got the job. Someone less qualified, someone braver, someone who chose herself before anyone else did. And here's the twist. She wasn't magically better. She wasn't more aligned. She just wasn't waiting for permission. Hoping to be discovered is just obedience in a pretty dress. What's one opportunity you didn't pursue because you were waiting to be picked? Drop it in the comments because naming it is part of the deconditioning. Let's talk about resource coherence. That's real witchcraft for money, work, and opportunity. People think that wealth is about effort, worth, timing, connections, luck. But true wealth, the kind that feels aligned and sustainable, comes from coherence. Coherence is when your energy, your choices, and your work are finally pointing in the same direction. Wealth grows when your energy stops scattering. Most women operate in fragmentation. They want something, and then they wait to be chosen, and then they pretend they don't want it. And then they resent that it didn't happen. That cycle drains your field. Here's what coherence looks like. You see something that you want. You name it. You pursue it. And then you resource yourself through it. You choose it before anyone else does. Hesitation shows up for two reasons. What if it doesn't work? Then try again. You're not a prophecy. You're a process. How about, I'm scared it will work? Of course, growth is exposure, but it's also liberation. Here's a money ritual for coherence. A simple ritual to try tonight. One that pulls your wealth energy into coherence. Open up a notebook and write I am initiating my next level of success. Then write one action, small and honest, that moves you forward. Whether it's sending the email or applying for the role or raising your rate or posting your offer or even asking the question, pick just one. Then place your hand on the page and inhale slowly. Let your body register that you made a choice. Because wealth doesn't expand from waiting, it expands from initiation. Choosing yourself is the root of every resource you'll ever build. Success isn't found, it's initiated. When you practice this for a week, you'll notice something shift. Your work stops feeling like a gamble. Your money stops feeling like a judgment. Your next steps stop feeling like a test. And suddenly you're not performing for opportunities, you're creating them. That's wealth coherence. That's self-resourcing. That's breaking the pick-me spell once and for all. If you feel scattered, afraid to choose yourself, or pulled between old identities and new desires, go watch my free ceremony. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Let your field settle so wealth can actually land. Choose yourself before the world does. You were never meant to be discovered like a lost artifact. You're meant to be chosen by you. Not someday, not when you're ready, not when someone finally sees your worth. Today.